Tim, welcome to Watch You Want, and thanks for logging on. Today we are looking at this Breitling Transocean Chronograph 1461 Perpetual Calendar, 43 millimeters in polished stainless steel. You can see this Transocean Perpetual Calendar Chronograph on our website, watchyouwant.com. Purchase it if you like, and if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Watch You Want Inc. To me, this is something like the perfect modern Breitling. Classical proportions, that is the relation of the case to the bezel to the lugs, but with a good modern size. Yet at 43 millimeters, it doesn't overstep into truly oversized Brobdingnagian territory. What it does do is it gives you a versatile array of complications, including the perpetual calendar, the moon phase, the chronograph, and automatic winding in a gorgeous package paired with what I believe to be Breitling's finest bracelet, the Aero Classic. Now you can see on my wrist, 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference. This is a watch that has great modern stance, but the elegance of sort of a mid-century 40s, 50s, 60s layout, as well as the versatility of a black dial white metal combination. Now 15.5 millimeters thick, but with a conical bezel and a curved crystal, you do have a fighting chance against a dress cuff here. Maybe not the tightest of the tight, but if it's a little bit loose, if it's a sport blazer, a sport jacket type thing, no problems there. Moreover, on a smaller wrist, you're going to find that despite the 52 millimeter lug-to-lug measurement, this one works well. The lugs are broad but heavily contoured. They actually sweep, thrusting downward from the plane of the case to start the curvature of the bracelet around the wrist. Moreover, while I often like the look of an alligator leather strap on a watch this classical in appearance and its color tone combination, the fact is that the Aero Classic, like its sister, the Ocean Classic in the Breitling line, is more supple, softer, and bends more easily around a tight, smaller wrist curvature than any alligator strap, except perhaps the most broken-in example. So in terms of wearing comfort, these microlinks make it a lot easier to wear this watch if you have a smaller wrist like mine. And I would say even down to about 15 centimeters in circumference, you're going to have no trouble with this 43 millimeter case of the Transocean Chronograph 1461. Beautifully built. It's accompanied by a wonderful deployant clasp, also by Breitling, clamshell closure so it locks once you close it, polished inside and out. The standard of finish, like the rest of the watch, is fantastic, and it really belies the price range of this watch. There's a lot of value inherent in this design. Now you can see it is a certified chronometer as well as a chronograph, so it's got a lot of inherent value being automatic with the moon phase, the chronograph, and the leap year cycle perpetual calendar, plus all chronometer certified. Now you can see the mid-century modernist impressionist design on the back, designed to recall the original Transocean series of the 1950s, evocative of aircraft in formation flight. But it is the dial that's the highlight here. A mass of complications, and yet incredibly legible. You see the gorgeous ratio of narrow bezel to broad dial makes it read even larger than it is. So this watch has immense presence. Likewise, despite the number of calibrated scales, it's very easy to read the time. There's fantastic contrast between the polished indices of the hour markers and the black backdrop of the dial, because the dial is predominantly matte. When a gloss treatment below polished indices is used, oftentimes it can drown out the contrast of the indices. Breitling doesn't fall into that trap. This is very well planned out. And it does have a little bit of sports watch genetics in it, in as much as it's fully loomed. So very legible in the daytime. It's also legible in low light or no light conditions. Now, the complications are part of the star of the show. I've always said that the dual time, the chronograph, calendars in all their forms rank among the most useful complications, and this watch actually has 2 of the 3, with a perpetual calendar good for 1 full leap year cycle and a chronograph built in. Those are complications that you can find yourself using almost every day in daily life. In the business world, you'll find no shortage of uses, and the dial gains a nice vertical and horizontal balance thanks to the use of a romantic moon phase inset above the rose gold Breitling B at 3 o'clock. Now it is a leap year perpetual calendar. Every perpetual calendar is to some extent semi-perpetual. They all reach the end of the line at some point. Now most of them need to be reset in the year 2100. This one is designed so that every 1,461 days, hence the name of the model, it needs an adjustment. But that means once every 4 years, basically coinciding with the Olympics, you're going to have to adjust this calendar. The rest of the time, including the jump from February to March, it's pre-programmed. And there's a pretty cool story behind this movement. It debuted in the early 1990s as a collaboration between Breitling and Kellick. Now this 38 joule modular movement with 42-hour power reserve is automatic winding based on the ETA 2892A2, basically the movement that you'll find in the old 300-meter Bond Seamasters from the 90s. And it's a rugged, thin, and efficient movement. And on top of that, Kellogg added its 1461 leap year perpetual calendar module. And essentially, this has become in-house Breitling tech because in 1997, Breitling purchased Kellogg. So this 405-piece movement is in large part an in-house Breitling complication at this point. So you're getting a true rarity in the Breitling catalog. You're getting a watch that offers immense value with a movement that can rightly be considered to be in-house in as much as Breitling now owns Kellogg of La Chaux de Fonds. So 405 pieces, 38 joules, automatic winding. It is a fantastic combination of practicality, durability, and serviceability in a watch that absolutely looks the mid-century modernist business and sits well on any wrist. Your wrist can't be too big for this watch, but the nice thing is, for a fairly large watch, it also has fantastic compatibility with a smaller wrist. And again, that's all down to the supple and flexible microlink Aero Classic bracelet. I like everything about this watch, I'm going to be honest. I think it offers utility, I think it offers romance, I think it offers awesome good looks and fantastic ergonomics. And it's one of the few Breitling models in the contemporary catalog that isn't self-consciously oversized or gaudy. The contrast between the black dial and the white metal is fantastic, and it wears well with anything from a tuxedo to short sleeves. You can see this Breitling Transocean Chronograph 1461 Perpetual on our website, watchyouwant.com.